Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us. It's currently sort of 9:30 here in the UK, 9:30 in the evening. And for me to be absolutely compos mentis at this point in time, I'm normally asleep by now, after sort of being out on the road. It's pretty good. But I wanted to be here today because one, I was asked by Impact if I could sort of give people who are interested a little bit of insight into IEMA, the role of the sustainability professional in modern business, and also an insight into courses that we run here at Make UK, and certainly the foundation certificate in environmental management, which gives you a route into associate membership of IEMA. So, without any further ado, let's carry on. I'm Martin Alliker. As you can see, I'm a senior learning and development consultant with Make UK. I've been with Make UK now for nearly 7 years, after spending way over 30 years in industry, both in Europe and the UK predominantly, but I've also worked in the US as well for a period of my career. I'm considered, for some unknown reason, I guess, a professional in what I do. I teach sustainability courses. Of course I do, but I also teach NEBOSH as well, health and safety, to a very high level. So that gives you some sort of idea as to the quality of trainer that we sort of employ here at Make UK, and long may that continue. So today, for the next sort of about an hour, we're going to be talking sustainability and what you can all do to affect change, really. Because as we all know, the world is changing, and has been changing for a number of years now, certainly since the mid-80s, late 70s, early 80s, when the ozone layer was found to have a hole in it. But now, as Nicholas sort of alluded to, warmer winters, wetter winters, certainly around the world, hotter, drier summers. I think it was Greece only yesterday, sort of announced that their heat wave season had come roughly about 3 or 4 weeks early. And it's the same across the world: India, Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. The US have also sort of declared a heat wave for the next week or so. And in places such as India and Pakistan, snowfalls in June and July, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. So we know the world is changing due to climate change. And what is really, really worrying is when scientists who came out with statements such as, well, if we increase our world's temperature more than 1.5 degrees, then the whole world could be in trouble. The unfortunate thing is, last year we actually reached and surpassed that 1.5 degrees C, which is what the Paris Agreement back in 2015 was all about, trying to stay around that 1.5 degrees. Unfortunately, we surpassed it. And looking at the scientific data that there is around, it looks like, we could be heading towards a 2-degree sort of increase in pre-industrial levels. And that means we have got to change. We've got to change what we do. And each one of you who are here today has that ability. And you're here for a reason. You want to do something about it, I hope, and sort of try to affect that change. And I think just by being here, that shows you want to do that. So how can you help make that change? And it needs to be sort of small but effective, if I'm honest. IEMA, the Institute of Environmental Management and Assessment, based here in the UK, actually not very far from where I'm sitting now, just up the road in Lincoln, is a global professional body, as I'm sure most of you know. Central player in the sustainability agenda, connects with business and individuals across several industries, sectors, borders, and has a wealth and dearth of knowledge and experience, and can call upon training partners like ourselves at Make UK to sort of help them enact this change within the world. A sustainability professional these days needs IEMA as much as IEMA needs sustainability professionals. As an organisation, it reaches out to members, both practitioners, associates, affiliates, you name it, and we'll take a look at sort of the different levels of IEMA membership later on. But without IEMA, sustainability professionals would be sort of floundering a little. They wouldn't have support across sustainability aspects such as pollution, carbon footprinting, biodiversity, and corporate social governance, ESG, and areas such as that, because IEMA have been to the forefront in an awful lot of these areas, lobbying governments and setting agendas. It is IEMA's belief that together we can change perceptions and attitudes, and it's vitally important that we do. Otherwise, we may not be sort of in the place that we want to be, and across the world we could be struggling. Here at Make UK, we have been in business, I guess, for over 125 years here in the UK, formerly the Engineering Employers Federation. But in 2018, we changed our name and just sort of our outlook. We were apparently very black and white. Even our logo was black and white, so that's how black and white we were. Not necessarily in our teaching and in what we did, but that was the perception. 125 years of history, not necessarily changed overnight, but became a little bit more colourful and a little bit more out there, a little bit more outgoing. We do represent the manufacturing sector here in the UK, promoting and supporting that sector, lobbying government. Our head office is close to the Palace of Westminster, right in the heart of London. In fact, if you step out of our head office front door and turn left, you're basically on the doorstep of Westminster Abbey. Like I say, we do lobby government on issues that affect the whole of manufacturing, and currently we've been getting some success in a lot of areas by sort of making government understand. However, here in the UK, as I'm sure you know, we're currently in general election fever, and that means a lot of lobbying across a lot of parties for various sort of reasons across the whole of manufacturing. We are well respected as a health, safety, and environmental training organisation. In fact, a lot of UK leaders in these fields have passed through Make UK or EEF's hands in the past, and our Centre of Excellence at Woodland Grange in Leamington Spa has certainly seen an awful lot of health, safety, and environmental professionals pass through their doors. Even myself, I stepped into Woodland Grange way back in the late 80s. Yeah, I am that old, unfortunately, or fortunately, and entered into this new world for me of health, safety, and environmental management. How does IEMA support you as potential sustainability experts? So every organization has these sustainability ambitions, I'm sure, and I dare say New Zealand is no different to us here in the UK and across the world. Tackling climate change and connections for society, making people understand what is good for them and what's not so good. Supporting communities is really, really important. Making them understand what does sustainability look like, because an awful lot of people just aren't aware. But equally, you know, promoting the natural environment, biodiversity is something that over the last 20, 30 years has taken a severe hit. Across Europe, I dare say down there in New Zealand as well, biodiversity and food chains uh, are being decimated across this planet. We need to optimize resources, of course we do. Our whole sort of lifestyle, if you like, is based upon burning fossil fuel, whether it's coal or whether it's oil or even gas. But it will run out eventually, and then what do we do? But equally, trying to grow careers. And for those of you who are looking to take the first step into sustainability and possibly dedicating your career to it, um, it means that you can sort of have an influence on this. IEMA themselves have a skills map, and I'll go into that momentarily. But again, events and networking across the world, especially IEMA Connect, which is the annual conference held virtually for the last 3 years and was a great success holding it virtually. I was even honoured to sort of have a slot a couple of years ago to talk about IEMA and the training that we undertake, certainly around AIEMA and PIEMA. Online, if you look at the IEMA website, there's an awful lot of information there, toolkits, webinars, and if you do become a member, you are entitled to the Transform magazine, IEMA's communication vehicle for sustainability professionals, learning about what's going on in the world, learning about best practice, which is really important. And of course, policy and practice. IEMA have been right at the forefront of an awful lot of environmental policy and an awful lot of environmental practice. Over the last 5 to 6 years, several reports have prompted governments across the world to take action, and long may that continue. So what is the role of a sustainability professional in modern business? IEMA's skills map, which you can sort of just make out on the right-hand side of the screen here, very much embedded at the heart of what IEMA are all about. Fundamentals of sustainability and principles are really to the fore, along with issues of business governance. Business looks to sustainability professionals these days to provide them with a steer. What do we do? What do we need to do? So, as I was saying, the role of the sustainability professional, the skills map, really does set it out for us in a very clear way, especially those of you who've experienced this skills map. This map really does contain the values that business seek in a sustainability professional these days. A great source of information and expertise to any business, and that comes from training and experience throughout whatever you do. Now, I'm sure most of you are here. I hope most of you are here to sort of get a flavour for what Impact are trying to do and promoting IEMA, and certainly turning to us here at Make UK for the courses. But it's not just all about that. It's not just a training course. With that training course comes an awful lot of experience. I'm myself, I'm down to deliver IEMA 2 Impact later on this year. And the role of the modern sustainability professional has changed. I think I said, didn't I? I came into environmental management as it was then over 30 years ago. And one of the first things that I had to sort of investigate was a pollution incident. And at 1 a.m. in the morning, I was stood on a riverbank just about to go in to a river to find a source of pollution that had to be stopped. And the sustainability professional has really moved on from that. Leaders will need more help and more guidance. What does net zero mean? But what is ESG? And this is where you as professionals, and certainly trained sustainability professionals, will really come into your own, giving guidance and advice on things like net zero. What is net zero? Is net zero carbon neutral? Well, not quite. And there are reasons for people taking this step. And I hope all of you are here because you want to take that step. Biodiversity, as I say, and climate change impacts. We're all feeling climate change impacts across the world. Wildfires, floods, severe weather, storms are affecting most of the planet, whether it be Australia and 50 degrees worth of heat, some of the hottest summers ever recorded on this planet are happening over the last 5 to 10 years. And we can't sit there and sort of do nothing. And my sense check came last October when my daughter sort of was gracious enough to present me with my first grandchild, a grandson. And that really did make me think as a professional sort of sustainability leader, if you like, about what sort of planet is my grandson going to have when he reaches my age, just past 60? Is it going to be, when there's no point of return anymore? At this moment in time, we do have that chance to sort of reverse this process. And that was quite evident when the whole world locked down in 2021, 2020, 2021, and 22. So let's just discuss IEMA training and certainly Make UK's offering. And I'll just sort of introduce you to the 3 main courses that we do undertake here at Make UK. For years now, we've been a trusted training partner, even helping IEMA develop some of their content, overseeing that content. And it extends now to IEMA's Foundation Certificate in Environmental Management, the IEMA course, which is our offering with Impact at this moment in time. There's also IEMA's Certificate in Environmental Management, PIEMA, which is a little bit more advanced, takes a little bit of a different recourse across how it's delivered. And the final sort of step, if you like, and I'm going to go into these steps shortly, is IEMA's Sustainability and Business Practice Diploma. Now, here at Make UK, we are the only organisation in the UK who actually offer this diploma. So we're quite proud of that, and so we should be. We've been delivering it now for the best part of 10 years. And it's a course that is aimed at the next level from practitioner, really. Those people who set a course for their organisation or their business, a very strategic sort of course, hence the reason it is a diploma. We also deliver IEMA's pathways to net zero, an introduction to net zero being something that across the world people are sort of taking on board, organizations are taking on board with the view to 2050 and being at net zero around 2050, halfway through this century. But as well, we do offer two newly revamped courses actually, and that's sustainability skills for managers and sustainability skills for workers as well. Each one specific to either managers who have a little bit more responsibility, and also workers, making them realise what sustainability is all about, and giving them that insight into what organisations are required to do and what they're asking their workers to do, because we are in this together. It's not just leaders who will lead us through this or into this. It's not just sustainability professionals who will ensure that business have the right acumen, the right training, and the right competence. It's also right from the shop floor upwards that this is going to take hold, and I'm sure the same can be said for you guys over there, guys and girls over there in New Zealand, that the whole workforce needs to be involved in this. It's not just one person or two people or a department or even the senior management team. It's everybody. So the levels of IEMA membership. I don't know how many of you are familiar with these, but I'll just sort of take you through, and then I will sort of concentrate on those three courses. 7 levels of IEMA membership, starting with student, under the title of Broad Horizon. Really, if you're a student looking at environmental and sustainability issues and learning, you're in that learning mode, then you can apply for student membership of IEMA. Affiliate membership, looking at a wider professional community. And the course that we are going to be sort of offering into Impact, the associate course, the IEMA course, is really aimed at people who want to make a mark in this profession. A whole, like it says here, a whole new world of opportunity for environment and sustainability professionals. Your first step on the ladder, if you like, into probably and hopefully a whole new career. It certainly provided me with a whole new career. As I say, 30 odd years ago, when somebody said to me, got the perfect job for you, Martin. I said, go on, what is it? And they said, oh, health, safety and environment management. I went, I know nothing about it. Don't worry, they said, we'll train you. And thank goodness they did, because it has really provided me with 30 odd years of a career, one which I enjoy and one which I embrace. Graduate level is aimed at leaders of the future, people who graduate from university with some environmental or even sustainability qualification from university. You can apply for graduate level membership of IEMA. And then further up the scale is the practitioner level, where you're actually taking action. You're out there, you're doing the job, and you are really making your organization tick when it comes to sustainability and environmental management. Really, the coal face, if you like. And the final two, the full member, really has the power to influence. Leads change within an organization, or leads change within a specific sort of part of anybody's workforce, even sustainability professionals. Earlier this week, I was doing just that with a group from Boston College here in the UK. A group of 7 people have been going through their IEMA And it was my job to ensure that they went through that and fully understood what IEMA was all about. And then the final step in the progression is, of course, a fellow of IEMA, a new generation of ambassadors, if you like it says here, for sustainability. Leaders challenging the norms, pushing those boundaries, and hopefully transforming the world. And who knows where you can reach to within this career. So let me talk about briefly our three main courses, and certainly after I've done this, I'm going to concentrate on the foundation certificate. As you can see, there are three sort of courses that we run, three different levels. Our starter for 10, if you like, our number one place on this staircase is our IEMA course, IEMA's Foundation Certificate in Environmental Management. The first step for many into a professional career in sustainability or even environmental management. The second step, IEMA's Certificate in Environmental Management, it is directly linked to the practitioner membership. In fact, split into 4 modules, and that final module is a peer review to ensure that you meet the criteria needed to be a practitioner member of IEMA. And then our upper tier, if you like, or our final step, the diploma in sustainable business practice, our level 6 diploma in sustainable business practice. And like I said earlier, we are the only people here in the UK who actually offer that course. Looking at each one of these in a little bit more detail, Foundation Certificate, a 5-day course split into 11 sections aimed at professionals who are just starting out in their career, especially when they want to progress to be a specialist in this area. Successfully complete this course, do the 5 days and take your online exam, which I'll explain a little bit later. You can apply for associate membership of IEMA. Those letters after your name, which actually signify that you are at the start, maybe a little bit further on than just a start of your environmental sustainability profession. And you've actually committed yourself to a career. The second level, the Certificate in Environmental Management, again, like I say, split into 4 modules, developed to provide learners with a detailed environmental and sustainability knowledge. And hopefully from that, they'll be able to apply what they learn into their management role. It does come with assessment tools and skills. Parts of this course are assessed by written assessment, 4 modules, starting with module 1 and going through, like I say, to module 4. The first 3 modules here at Mate UK, we actually mark the papers and verify those papers, and then they get passed through to IEMA, so that IEMA can then, along with yourselves, of course, if you do want to go this far, build a portfolio and have a peer review by some full members of IEMA or even fellows of IEMA, to ensure that you are worthy of practitioner level and you are doing the right things. And it really is a feather in your cap once you do go through this, certainly where IEMA is concerned. Not only do you get the full certificate, but it also qualifies you to go on and become a chartered environmentalist. So well worth sort of exploring if this is the career for you. And our final sort of major course with IEMA is, of course, our diploma, an assignment-based course, 3 modules, very much aimed at the strategic manager, possibly really senior manager or even director level. and it will help, as I say, get to full membership of it should be IEMA, not IOSH. Something similar happens with IOSH, and means that you can have letters MIEMA after your name, full member of IEMA. So a worthy profession should you choose to sort of get on the bandwagon, as it were. And that bandwagon really does start down here with AIEMA. And I'll just go into some of the vacancies of AIEMA. So, like I said earlier, it's split into 11 parts, split over 5 days, and it provides all learners with a solid basis to not only assist and support improvements in sustainability of organizations, but it gives you a chance to sort of start to explore what's actually required. The learning itself, the 11 parts, why do we need to be sustainable? Looking then at environmental principles, the principles of sustainable organizations, looking at the 5 pillars of sustainability. Of course, we go into pollution and pollution control, environmental management systems in their infancy all those years ago were enablers for organizations to start looking at this. No course would be a course without some policy and legislation, and also key environmental legislation. And that, for your course, for your AIEMA course, will be based around your legals over there in New Zealand and those key environmental parts of legislation which you have to abide by. We then look at environmental tools and assessment, things like carbon footprinting and environmental impact assessments, and even an environmental assessment of your own organization. We will discuss that. We'll look at data and reporting because, as everybody knows, modern business without data would probably fall over, wouldn't it? Maybe, maybe not. We will look at environmental management systems in the AIEMA course and base this around the International Standard 14001, as well as sort of highlighting other environmental management systems that have a real purpose and a real purpose for business. We'll take a look at environmental auditing. What does an environmental auditor look like? What's good practice when it comes to environmental auditing, and what are the benefits of not just internal audits, but also those external audits, those third party and second party audits that take place. And we finish the AIEMA course by discussing how sustainability performance can be improved and some of the tools that are out there, reframing certain things and looking at change management, because as with most things, anybody who enters into even an environmental management system is imposing a little bit of change on their organization. To help in your studies, it's complemented by 13 in-course activities, and those 13 activities have been designed around the learning competencies of the course. And even in a virtual classroom, some of the breakout activities are really, people really do get into them. And they do enhance not only the learner's understanding and skills, but also working in groups. You can sort of explore a little bit more about, a little bit more about what makes an organization tick, different organizations tick. The 13 learning outcomes from the course, which is really important because you want to know, if you sit this course, what is it that I'm going to be doing? What is it I'm going to learn? Well, they're split into 3 knowledge areas. The first one being core knowledge. The course, the IEMA course itself, will outline the implications of global trends for the environment. Things such as population explosion and areas that you may not have thought of, like how many planets will it take to sort of sustain the way of life that we have become accustomed to. Also, sustainable business governance and principles, looking at the capitals, the sustainability capitals, the 5 pillars of sustainability, and give you an insight into how organizations can sort of build a relationship through these pillars. The technical knowledge that you're going to get, the course itself will outline environmental principles and their relationships within your organization, and it will make you stop and think exactly where you're at. Of course, we'll take a look at major policies from across the world, things like the Montreal Protocol and why that came into being, and also discuss the Paris Agreement and that drive towards staying around 1.5 degrees C higher than pre-industrial levels. Also, you'll use some major tools, some techniques and systems to improve sustainability performance. Not only your own sustainability performance, but that of your organization, that of the business that you work for. And hopefully you'll take away some key learning elements that will help you in your role within your business. And then, of course, we'll take a look, certainly within the technical knowledge, the role of innovation and AI and how that's going to sort of take a hold of moving us towards net zero a lot quicker than we have been doing so far. Hopefully, it will provide some of you with some of the sustainability solutions that you've been seeking. If not, it might put you on the track that you can explore at your will and sort of start making you think a little bit about what you can do to improve sustainability within your organization and come up with some of those solutions. And the final dearth of knowledge, if you like, the skills, collecting data, performing analysis on data and what data is out there, and you've got it all at your fingertips when you think about it, but it's just making sure that it can be dissected and put into the right sort of premise for people to use, not just senior leaders and senior managers and directors, but everybody within your organization. Look at researching and planning sustainable solutions and effective communication and engaging with stakeholders. Who are your stakeholders? You will go through an exercise to sort of look at who your stakeholders actually are. And hopefully, on completion of this course and with those 13 learning outcomes, you will progress through to a successful conclusion. We don't just sort of give you a book or give you 2 books in the case of IEMA and say, there you go, everybody, we'll take you through the slide set and then you'll be ready for your assessment. Oh, no. We at Make UK have a very comprehensive learner management system which fully supports your learning with us. It's been developed with you in mind, and it will give you guidance, and it fully complements all the way through your course, your learning experience. This, coupled with the virtual classroom, experienced tutors, and also learning with an organisation that has had an awful lot of experience and an awful lot of people come through our hands with a very high pass rate at IEMA, means that Impact have looked to us to sort of help out with running these courses, and we're more than happy to partner with impact in this, because one, it's important to us, but two, it's important to so many people, and certainly over there as well. So what happens when you complete? Once your learning experience is complete, you'll take an online assessment, and on successful completion, you'll be awarded associate level status, which you can take on board. And that associate level status, well, I'll let IEMA tell you about that rather than me.
Unless your organisation has a major focus on sustainability, chances are you've been handed extra responsibility bolted onto your current role, often without the training, knowledge, or support you need to make a success of it. So, whether you're looking for a quick and easy access to the information you need right now, or you're looking to build a career in sustainability, IEMA's Associate Membership is for you. You'll get access to a whole host of practical information to help you do your job better, like understanding how to apply legislation that affects your industry, or learning from how others achieved leaps in efficiency. You'll also have access to Transform magazine, the world's most read environment and sustainability publication, so you can keep up to date with the changing political and legislative landscape. And with exclusive IEMA events, you'll meet plenty of professionals who can give you practical advice on the steps you need to take to turn knowledge into action. So, if you've been tasked with making your organisation more sustainable as an IEMA associate, you'll have the support you need to do your job better. Join us today, and with an IEMA suffix, show employers you've got what it takes to make a difference.
Basically, the video is sort of inviting you more than anything else to take up the sort of mantle of taking on board this demanding. I'm not going to pull any punches with you, everybody. It is a demanding course for somebody taking their first steps, but it's also really, really satisfying when you get to the end of it. You take your online assessment and the screen flashes up at you right at the end of it. You've passed, because that means you've got, now your first step is underway. Now you can start to look at improving your skills, honing those skills, and becoming that sustainability professional. So, want to find out more, or actually want to take the plunge and actually do this? Well, Impact have sort of produced this QR code that if you scan this, and I'm going to leave it there for a couple of minutes while I just talk through the end of my presentation. Trust me, it's a worthwhile career to get into, especially now. Right now, the world needs sustainability professionals. The world needs people to take the mantle. And even if you take IEMA and you go and do the IEMA course and nothing else, you'll have the tools that you need to sort of progress forward, even as a practitioner, working your way through a business, making a business more sustainable, even making your own life more sustainable. It's got to be worth it. It was for me. So, any questions, anybody? Okay, no questions. I've turned a darker shade of pale. It's actually started. Thank you, Manga. Nicholas, anything from you?
Yes, yeah, thank you very much, Martin. I just would like to take this opportunity from Impact and everyone that's on this webinar today and that will be watching this in the near future. Thank you very much for the in-depth explanation of the different courses that we can attend from our intern, from Impact as well. And then, of course, the very important one, the reminder that we all are in this together. So, the great importance of, that we all have to play our part. So really appreciate your time, Martin, and make your case. So thank you very much for this brief session.
You're more than welcome. So that's it, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really hope I've sort of lit a little bit of a fire with most of you, and that some of you actually really do want to experience this firsthand, because I know we've got a course coming up with Impact, and this course will just, whether you're just starting out or whether you've experienced it, it will give you even more to help you on your career. Those people who are doing net zero, it will help with that. Looking at data, certainly producing carbon footprinting, which we're all going to have to do at some stage. So there we go. From me to you all, have a great day. I'm going to go and sort of get some sleep now. I've been up since 5:30 here in the UK, so probably as you were going to bed, I was just getting out of bed. So, but that's the way of the world. Thank you all for attending today. It's a pleasure, honestly. I do enjoy doing these things. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Thank you for inviting me.